Hey, mom friend, we are so glad that you're with us today. We know that this is such a busy time of year, and with all the extra time with family and friends, there can be some stress that elevates. But as moms, we're called like the thermostats of our house. We can set the tone, set the mood, be peacekeepers. So how do you keep the peace during the holidays?
You know, I think understanding what helps us as individuals and then our whole family, our mom, dad, kids, understanding what really keeps the peace with us goes a long way. What works with us is chaos goes to exhaustion, and then there's conflict. So when I identified that, I was able to realize, okay, so we need to plan better. We need to understand each other's expectations. We need to make sure we have a plan in place that also allows for downtime, that we can remove ourselves from the great big group and we can just go back home, chill, you know, relax, and also have code with each other. If we need to remove ourselves from a sticky situation, if we're somewhere, even out in public or with family or whatever, that's not good for our kids, my husband and I have a code phrase or a code word or a way that we communicate with each other to say, okay, we need to leave.
That's
It's
so
time.
wise. So wise.
Even with kids' schedules, they get tired, and you know, you just need to have a way to get out if you have to get out.
That's right.
You know? So anyway, Carly has some awesome tips. Listen.
Okay, so I want to give a quick tip for family conflict. And I know it's the time of year, it's the holidays, sometimes you want to battle it out, especially when it's his side and her side mingling together on the holidays. It can get kind of stressful. But quick tip number one, don't talk in front of the kids, because even though you're driving in the car, they can hear you in the back seat. So don't talk in front of the family about anybody else. And tip number two, you may not like them, but you're called to love them. Tip number three, if they're unsaved, we have to remember we're called to be the light and the love to those people. And so many times they know what we're against and not what we're for. So love them anyways, right? And most of the time, I think you just gotta let it go.
Let it go, let it go. Oh, that's what little girls.
Well, going back to what Judy said, I think that we have to be okay with just saying, you know what, it's been so great to be here, but we're out of here. Like when you see your kids have reached the max, like we have one specifically that when she has reached her max, she has reached her max and she is done. And if we don't leave, we've walked over the edge, and then it's gonna take, you know, it's gonna take too long to bring her back to us. So we just need to say, thank you so much for having us. We're out of here. And if your friends are friends, then they'll understand and they'll be with you, right?
Absolutely.
And then the other thing that we do is we always say, with our kids, inside our family and even with their friends, treat others the way you would want to be treated. It's the golden rule. My kids know it. They teach it to their friends, you know, and if you wouldn't want to be treated that way, you shouldn't be treating somebody else that way. So we try to resolve some conflicts in that way.
Absolutely. And then it's important just to remember to just be loving through all this, and that's really challenging. And I've noticed that with our family, sometimes the conflict just arises because people just want to be heard. And if you just allow them to vent and not keep interrupting them and making the conflict build from there, just let them say their piece and let it be done. You know, and say thank you for sharing, or, you know, giving us your concerns and letting us know how you feel. But then the other part of it is also with our children, we need to let them feel like they can be heard as well, and to get things off their chest, and just allow them to be heard and listen, and then just love up on them when they've expressed that as well.
Too.
Exactly. Right. And we've got a special video from Jacinda, who also has some words to share.
Sometimes at a family gathering you have assigned side dishes, but you might be tempted to bring along your elephant or your donkey. But you should know that if either one of them opens their mouth, they're going to say things like, "You just want to raise my taxes," or "You don't really care about people." And before you know it, somebody gets trampled, somebody gets a black eye, and it's no more fun at the family gathering. So rather than bringing them along, why don't you leave them at home in the box?
Wow.
Such
That's
wisdom.
a great idea.
Yeah.
We really need that.
Always
Such
some
wisdom.
hot topics. It's good to stay away from hot topics.
Very
and-
dangerous.
Yeah, we like your artistic display there too, Jacinda. So I know for my family, conflict doesn't necessarily come when we're with the extended family, but it can happen right in with us and our immediate family. Like
Yes.
on the way, there might be conflict in the car, and you know, arguments, heated discussion with the husband, or the kids are whining, and so. You know, then when you get there, you put on your happy Merry Christmas, okay, it's perfect. And so I have learned to embrace my dorkiness, okay? Because my husband will often say, he's like, you're such a dork, you're so, and it's because, you know, if you sense a negative mood, really like we have the power to change that mood.
Absolutely.
And being silly, honestly, like coming against a person's negativity,
Yes.
they can't help but just like laugh at you. So for example, like if this wasn't in the car, but at home, my husband was feeling really frustrated about something. And so I happened to be hula hooping while I was talking to him. Okay, just because I was hula hooping, doesn't everybody do that whenever they're having discussions with their husband? And so I just like got kind of crazy with the hula hoop, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a dork," and he left. So that's really what you have to do is just look for creative ways to change things.
We can diffuse
But
that.
I have a challenge for you. So as family conflict arises and threatens the peace of your home, I want you to pursue peace like you pursue the last piece of chocolate cake at a party. So Montford, you hold the power to set the mood in your home. That means no complaining, arguing, or whining. Instead, look for what is good and make the good shine bright. As our scripture for today says, if you want to enjoy life and see many happy days, seek peace and pursue it.